Hey everyone, welcome back to Aliens on Toast Gaming, and welcome back to another Dino Dossier Spotlight and Analysis for the Isle. And this time, we're having a look at the Dryosaurus. Now, if you ever played this guy, he's usually just a transition dinosaur. You don't really spend that much time playing the Dryo, because he is essentially just a meal on legs. He's too small to really defend himself that much. In fact, he pretty much can't. He is essentially just a food source for other dinosaurs. But it'll be really interesting to see kind of, especially with the survival gameplay, how this guy would be considered playable. Like what kind of tactics and stuff you would have to employ to play this guy through to get to the next stage of dinosaur. Usually when you're playing this guy in progression, you play him for about 10 minutes just to get to the next set of progression plants, and then you get to an Ava. So you get to a Packy or whatever happens to be next in the progression line. I've completely spaced on that now and I cannot remember. But anyway, let's have a look at the Dryosaurus. So first, let's come down to the name. So the Dryosaurus was discovered by Marsh in 1894. So this guy has been around for a while. It was in the Jurassic period, which was 145 million years ago. So one of the first dinosaurs that was around. And Dryosaurus means oak tree lizard. Now, something that's actually really interesting is Dryosaurus is very, very similar to Lianosaurus, which was an Australian / Antarctic / New Zealand dinosaur. And it's really fun because I love playing this guy when I do get a chance to play him, even if it is for a short moment, because I kind of like the fact that I've got some kind of heritage with this dino. I like playing Australian dinosaurs, even though they're never included in anything. So I like playing the Dryosaur, even though it's not technically an Australian dinosaur. It's close to. So I enjoy it. But let's go have a look at the vital statistics for this guy. So up the top left, we can see the profile of this guy, and he pretty much disappears. Look at that. Holy moly. So obviously some of these are unfinished. These were released before they were intended to be implemented into the game. So there are going to be chances for them to improve these in the future, because they will be included, just not this version. The version that will be included has not been made public, and I'm not sure if it will ever be made public, if it'll just be included in the game for humans to discover when they've spent enough time around dinosaurs or whatever. So like, there's a possibility we will never see what the profile of the Dryosaurus will look like. But we can see its vital statistics here. We've got the diet, which is a herbivore. We know this guy does eat a herbivorous diet. He is 3 meters in length and 1.7 meters, 5 foot in height. Its weight class is light. It only weighs 90 kilos, which is about the same weight as an average-sized adult human. That is, not an average-sized adult dinosaur. That ranges a lot. But an average-sized adult human, or I think a healthy average adult human, don't get me wrong, whatever, it's 90 kilograms. Its attack types are passive. I wouldn't exactly call it passive. I have gone on the warpath as a Dryo before, hunting down Heras, or even I've killed a Utah Raptor as a Dryo before, back in the old days when alt turning was not a thing. Man, I miss those days. But it is somewhat passive. It's not going to do much damage. It's definitely not going to cause bleed or any broken bones or crush damage. It's just going to be able to nip at the skin cells of these dinos. It does have good night vision, which is unlike some of the other dinosaurs. It's good. It's not excellent. Its sense of smell requires further study. I'm not going to say this guy has a good sense of smell when that does become implemented, because it's a Dryo. It doesn't really need to have a good sense of smell. Its temperament is social. This guy is going to be very, very casual and pretty much wanted in any herd of dinosaurs, because it's going to be able to see dinosaurs that some of the bigger, more bulky, more hindered dinosaurs are going to miss. So if you're playing a trike and a Dryo wants to join your herd, it's probably a good idea, because this guy's going to see dinosaurs before you do. It's going to be a meal option too before you are. So keeping him around is a good idea. It's helpful for it, it's helpful for you. It is a good symbiotic relationship. And the overall stamina is a high metabolic rate. So this guy needs to eat a lot of food to maintain that 90 kilos. Like most herbivores, it's probably going to be continually grazing just to get enough nutrients into its body so that it can stay alive throughout the day. So think of gazelles and other types of grassland herbivores that are around today, so sheep, gazelles, zebras, even elephants and giraffes. They're all animals that constantly need to eat, so they're going to be constantly grinding down their food just so that they get enough nutrients to live. It's hard enough staying alive as a dinosaur, or a herbivore in general, just without the concept of predators. You need to find food constantly. And it is true, the Dryo cannot survive that long without eating at the moment. Its hunger goes down super quickly, so you need to find food pretty much as soon as you spawn, and you need to stick around it. Or if you know exactly where you're going to get to those progression plants, you need to go straight there. But anyway, let's have a look at the feeding ground for this guy. So, not especially bright, Dryosaurus frolics in the open plains, leaving them exposed while eating the abundant flora. This is a most unfortunate diet choice considering they have no defenses. So, yeah, they're essentially cannon fodder. Any dinosaur that happens to wander through an open plain will see a Dryo and will see a meal. It's not going to see any kind of resistance, it's not going to see anything other than a quick amount of meat to be consumed. And although that's not especially true in the current maps of the Isle, so the Redwood map is all redwoods, there are no plains, but I'm guessing once they've kind of interlocked these maps, if they are going to do that, or they've released a few different ones, the Dryos are going to find an excellent source of food in the open plains. They're going to be finding these flowers and these whatever kind of plants they do end up eating, these soft tissue plants out in the open, which means they're going to have to risk getting eaten to eat, which I think is a very cool gameplay concept. I mean, if you're constantly stressing about both needing to eat and being eaten, it's going to be much more interesting than if you feel safe 100% of the time. I think that's very cool, very clever way of putting it in there. So Dryosaurus must always be ready to flee at the first sign of danger, since running is their only option when attacked. Their flock structure is analogous with meerkats, with posted lookouts at all times that remain alert for potential threats, while others of the group feed and have fun. So the way meerkats function is that they'll have like several meerkats hunting for food and eating insects and looking after young, while 1 or 2 designated lookouts keeping watch for danger. Some animals have even learned to take advantage of this. There's actually a type of bird in Africa that mimics the call of meerkats to distract them, to alert them to dangers that are not there, so that when meerkats have caught something like a scorpion or a large beetle or something that they've ferreted out of the ground, the bird will mimic this alarm call, send the meerkats scurrying away back to their burrow, and then this tiny little kingfisher looking bird will swoop down, pick up that scorpion, and have a free meal. Of course, the meerkats are smart enough to learn that this doesn't work every single time, but it'll be interesting to see if dinosaurs will have some sort of function like this in the future. I know that there was talk of having the Dilophosaurus being able to mimic the sounds of other dinosaurs. I'm not sure if that will ever be implemented, but I thought it was a really cool concept to play around with, and I would be very interested if that was the aggressive structure of one of these dinosaurs. I very much like that. But anyway, let's have a look at the rest of this guy. So he's got a side view here that we can see, and it's ready to dash apparently. This is him mid-stride. Got a stiff tail for balance, a shaggy covering over most of the body, which is not actually included in the current model. It does have a weak neck and a weak beak and long legs for sprinting, so really no defenses other than being able to run away. But anyway, this has been the Dryosaurus and another Spotlight and Analysis dossier for the Isle, and I hope to see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching, and bye-bye!